Hi, and welcome to Hoffman's Hot Seat. Tom Hoffman with 121 Media, coming to you from Outside In, a Customer Experience Professionals Forum organized by Forrester Research, being held here in Los Angeles. And I'm joined today by Katy Keim, Chief Marketing Officer at Lithium. And today, Katy and I will be talking about best practices for addressing the social customer relationship. Katy, thanks so much for joining us again. It's good to see you.
Happy to be here. Good to see you, Tom.
So Katy, what do you find many companies are missing out on when it comes to addressing the social customer experience?
You know, this morning we chatted on the agenda about kind of 5 ways to get serious, and I think those are the things that customers are missing. First is that many of these professionals are just following the herd. They're moving on to Facebook. They're not really clear on what the strategy is, and they need to be very purposeful of what they're doing there. Second, they're not really related to that. They're not owning it. They've got to think about the customer experience and points they own, like retail, mobile, and their own .com. And I think they're continuing to think of this as a silo as opposed to an ingredient in the whole business process. And related to that is that they don't have the metrics to show how it's critical to the whole business, relationship with the customer. So those are some of the ways that I think we haven't quite gotten there in terms of getting serious about social.
Are there certain roadblocks or inhibitors that are preventing companies from progressing further down this path?
I do. I think another way of looking at it is what does a business need to do to kind of get past it? And one thing that we talked about this morning was that you clearly need a business champion that's at a higher level. Social started in pockets and by Mavericks, and that's all great from an innovation. But we now need to look at an executive in the business taking hold of this in terms of an ingredient in the customer strategy and being able to prepare the organization for proper funding, proper change management, proper alignment with the business goals. So that's one thing that we're seeing is more successful clients.
Okay. What precipitated that? I mean, is that something that they needed guidance on, or things that some clients were able to recognize internally?
I think it's a bit of both, but some have had early successes, and I think to grow on that success, clients need, or the business owners need help with wider parts of the organization. Some is, I think, just a natural maturity. So we see clients moving from listening, to engaging on existing networks. Then the next step is they want to bring it in-house and point it at a real business problem. So part of it is precipitated by success, and part of it's precipitated by they've just grown up, they're done with the experimenting, and now they want to progress on to something bigger and more committed.
A lot of companies struggle with the entry points for when is it appropriate to engage with customers in social media. And I'm wondering if you could offer up some recommendations as to how companies should go down that path.
I want to be careful of not being too prescriptive because so much depends on the brand and the customers you serve. But I think in part of my conversation this morning is that I don't know if you can necessarily have a choice. Your customers are choosing that as a channel that they want to engage in those brands. So I wouldn't necessarily advise on whether or not it's appropriate. In some ways, kicking and screaming, brands have to figure out a strategy, but they need to figure out a way that's appropriate for them. So, I would say that you just want to be mindful of how you respond to that consumer and how you think about aligning that to the experience that you want to drive.
Sure. So for companies that are able to engage successfully with customers in social, what are some of the business benefits that can result?
Well, we talked a bit this morning about made-up metrics, and I think to some extent buzz and likes, and I was joking that high fives and kudos, all these things are metrics that have infused our daily language, and we've lost sight of. Like the real drivers in the business is how does it grow revenue and relationships with my customers, and how does it reduce my cost of expense at the same time improving the experience that I have. And so those are the areas that we are having conversations with our customers about, whether it be HP saving $50 million in their customer support costs, or Barclaycard innovating on a new credit card and saying that whole experience initiative has saved them $10 million. Sephora, on the other hand, is trying to find ways to have women talk about beauty and have it drive promotion, word of mouth, and purchase. And they're seeing their socially engaged customers spending 2.5 times what a I hear a lot about how social isn't driving value for the business. I completely refute that. I think some of these